And I guess we're live.
No mustache,
Holy
John.
crap. Yeah, dude. We are the Weekend Hangover episode 7.
7. We're 7 in, dude. This is
Fuck.
awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So Ricky, Bobby, and myself, we do this Weekend Hangover thing and we talk shit about the races. And there happened to be some fucking races last weekend. So let's do this. Yeah,
dude. It was quite the melee at Le Mans. But I want to hear about your weekend, dude. Posted some sweet
dude,
pics
like
of a Virgin
I
R1.
had not been to Truckwalla counterclockwise since 2020, right? And dude, I got invited out there. The track management is like, hey, come out and fucking ride, dude. And I'm like, yeah, bro. So yeah, I took a 0 miles R1 out there and flogged the piss out of it
That's awesome.
from the word go. Put 150 miles on the thing. So it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. And dude, I got to wear this awesome helmet.
Dude, it is so sick. That Gobert replica from Caleb DeCarroll.
And then Caleb did this whole thing, and he even put my number on the back,
And the Go Show, that is so sick.
Of course, dude. So it's a Go Show tribute lid. And
well, you got to remember, Caleb had some awesome looking bikes with the orange and the yellow and the white. Like, ever since I've known him from back in the late 20s.
Dude, he used to show up with like an R6 and an R1. It was all
and
I didn't know that I didn't know he was doing all that shit until like 5 minutes ago.
I remember 2014, 2015 coming down when he was a teenager and his dad and him drove down from Minnesota.
Well, I know he's Pirelli family. As far as I'm concerned, Caleb DeCarroll is Pirelli family. That's it, dude. So, us Pirelli folk got to stick together, right, Ricky Bobby?
I know, man.
You're a Pirelli guy now too, right?
I am a Pirelli guy.
High five? No?
High five, yes.
Yeah, so that was pretty neat. And I did wear my ass out. I hadn't ridden like that for myself in a long time. I do a lot of
coaching.
I do a lot of like 2-up rides and that kind of stuff, and I don't really get to go and burn laps like I used to. And man, I was like, fuck, dude. Like I could tell I spent a lot more time on the bicycle than I do on the bike on the racetrack. So
man, shout out to the chat. Shout out to the chat. John Reedy's in there, he's just praying the mustache just grows out.
John's that guy that basically works his ass off so Brennan Kettleson could club race.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. My buddy Kevin Oldham. We got Chris Smith from Smith Shot Racing.
Oh shit.
Andrew Troxel, my homie here in Charleston.
Okay.
So we got some of the
we got some East Coast and the one West Coast guy.
One West Coast guy. Come on. Where are we at?
Yeah, all 7 fans.
Let's go.
We're doing it, dude.
Let's go.
All right, so you want to get into it, man? Like, you want to talk about racing or what?
Well, we got to start with the Rookies Cup because.
Okay, I guess.
Whoa! Who's this guy? Speaking of helmets.
Oh yeah, dude. Like, yeah.
He just
Caleb DeCarroll.
Like
Look at that.
I know. Coming in like Kramer.
How's it going, guys?
Like, what's up, man?
Yeah, he joined up. He didn't even know he was getting jumped in. His microphone was muted. Everything. He was just chilling. Right on.
So
Caleb, you're not racing this year. You're doing this stuff now, right? Well done, buddy.
I am. Yep. Yeah. I wasn't able to secure a ride for the 2024 Moto America season, unfortunately. So I decided. Well, and honestly, I need to get some sort of a consistent revenue coming in, anyways. I'm getting older, and so I kind of needed to figure out.
You needed a job that actually pays.
I've been focusing a lot on racing these past 4 years now that I've gotten back in Moto America, and definitely just need to kind of shift my focus slightly. So I started my own company. We're doing custom canopies, table covers, shirts, jackets, hoodies, graphics, helmet wraps. As you saw, Dustin got a helmet wrap from the Go Show replica tribute helmet. You can check that out on Instagram, and he just posted up some cool photos of him riding last weekend. So I'm loving it. I've always, kind of my love for design kind of came from Rossi always had super cool designs, and I wanted to like make cool stuff for myself and helmets and leathers and all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of how that all started, just doing stuff for myself. And then, now that I ride, I was kind of like, well, there's no reason why I can't, do this for other people. And it's actually kind of taken off since I went to, and kind of talk to people in the pits and stuff and letting people know what I'm doing. And, gotten a lot of orders, pretty consistent, and a lot of helmet wraps, but we do a lot of other stuff too. So check us out on Instagram and see what you think.
Dude, I might have to have you make my pit shirts. Chris McGuire from CT Racing out here won't shut the fuck up about how good your pit shirts are. And dude, I got to be honest with you, man. There was somebody out here. I'm not going to name their name, but this person wanted nearly $900 to do the helmet, and 150 of that was design and all that. And I didn't ask for any discount, right? Like I just called you up and you're like, yeah, I'll do it for like, I was like, fuck, let's do it. Like I sent you the helmet like the next day, right? So
yeah, our pricing is very competitive. I mean, standard pricing for a matte and gloss is $250 and $325 if you want to do chrome, just because the material is quite a bit more expensive. But that's a cool thing about a wrap.
I would say it's worth the expense. I mean, right?
I try and do full coverage. I mean, it looks, pretty much like a painted helmet. I've been wrapping my own helmets for the last couple of years now instead of painting them, just because, you spend all this money, get a custom painted helmet. It usually takes forever to get it done. And then, you're going down the straightaway at Road America and get a couple rock chips in the front and you're like, oh man, or you crash first ride and
$1,000 paint job is now.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't honestly, I had a helmet painted recently by this lowrider dude, and it did not take very long. The guy fucking banged it out. Like I sent it to him before I left for Road Atlanta, and I picked it up from him when I got back. Like that's never happened with a painter ever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's a really good turnaround.
Yeah. And it wasn't like $1,200 like everyone else, or 13 or 15 or whatever it is. It was pretty reasonable. So, tell me that I'm from California without. Yeah, dude. Okay. I say dude a lot. Fuck off.
No, he's talking about the lowrider.
Hey, you know what? Like, first of all, I go way back with that shit. And what's really funny is at the track this past weekend, went to some steakhouse or whatever in Indio with the boys, and one of those guys, his name's Al Garcia. And Al was like, dude, you're way more Mexican than I am. So I thought that was kind of funny.
That is funny.
Anyway.
That is funny.
Yeah, but it's cool though. I mean, I think that's kind of the cool thing about it is like having a unique style, and and that's the coolest thing. I've done so many crazy helmets already that I never thought like somebody. I just did like one guy wanted like a Japanese samurai like thing on the top, and then basically throwing stars like along the side of the helmet and stuff. So like I guess I should have known, but that's the cool thing. You can get super creative. You can have your own style. You can do whatever you want on your helmet. Like I'm doing a Rossi replica right now for a guy actually out in California. So it's just like cool. You can do kind of whatever you want to do and have your own style.
Yeah. And you know what, dude? I'm a big fan of supporting the people that support our sport too. So I mean, dude, like you pick up the phone, you get your helmet wrapped by the dude, it saves you some dough. His URL is I'm just gonna show it. It's a banner across the bottom of the screen right now.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, dude, little CNN action right there, KD51.co.
And just make sure that you saw it on the Weekend Hangover.
Yeah, tell him you heard
Caleb
about it from the Hangover. Yeah.
We're not getting plugs for this. We just want to hook a homie up.
This is not a sponsored deal. Like, we just like to help out our homies,
Yeah, that's what we're all about.
Yeah. Anyway, so Caleb, did you catch any of the races this weekend, dude?
I did watch the GP race, obviously MotoGP and Moto 2. There was some pretty crazy action in the Moto 2 race, that's for sure. Some banging and bumping going on.
Yeah. Banging and bumping all weekend long.
Full contact racing. I know. I mean, honestly, there was a lot of that shit in all the classes this weekend, man. Like, I don't understand what the fuck happened. Like, dude, the sprint race, like half the field crashed out. Like, seemed like, dude.
Oh,
right?
It was wild. We can start with the Rookies Cup.
Yeah, did you catch the Rookies Cup?
Unfortunately, that is the only one that I didn't catch.
Dude,
it's all
okay.
good.
I know
I'm going to lay it out for you, bro.
Dustin.
I'm just going to lay it out for you. Rookies Cup is fucking awesome. Like, those kids are like, those kids are throwing hands every corner. Like, dude, like 10 kids battling for the lead kind of shit. It's awesome. So
they're all trying to make a name for themselves, and it's just like no holds barred, and they don't care. But a lot of them are dumping it. Like the dude who won the last race from Jerez dumped it in like the third corner, going down the hill, and it was just insane. And honestly, the only reason we're watching is because of Kristen Daniel, and that guy has contacts with him. So
like I'm a huge fan of Christian Daniel. I've known him since he was 8, and I remember when they moved to Spain years ago. And John, it is not like the Junior Cup on steroids. You better take that comment back, fucker. All right. First of all, no, it is not Junior Cup on steroids. I take offense to that. That's an insult, big time. But Christian, he's been in Europe for several years. He's also racing right now the European Talent Cup at the same time. So, I mean, it's damn near every week or every other week the kid's somewhere racing. And he's in a big series. And this year is like his first year with the rookies. So he's like a rookie, if you know what I mean. Some of the kids that have been there for 3 years, right? So, and he's battled, and this year I think he qualified 13th this weekend.
Oh, this weekend, yeah, he did.
Yeah, this weekend he qualified 13th. I don't know what the hell he did on the start, but he found himself in 17th in the first race. And then, dude, he fought back and was battling for 10th.
Yeah, he ended up 11th.
He got 11th, but I mean, he was, dude. They were like going at it. You know what I mean? So, and then race 2, he's like battling for 8th, 9th place. He actually had a good little scrap with the kid that ended up finishing second. What's it, Qualis or
Qualis or whatever.
Yeah,
he was the guy who won the first race.
Yeah. So, he battled with that kid for a little bit, and he went back to 13th. He fucked up somewhere, and I think he finished 10th in race 2, right? Mm-hmm. So the kid's doing well, and of course, after every race, the kid sends me a novella, right?
Telenovela.
Yeah, it's a lot of stuff. But, he says that I was basically asking him what he thought about running with the Qualis kid, and race 2 with him was him he was just pissed that he wasn't able to continue on to the front. He's like, oh, okay, this isn't that bad, but he feels like he's learning, and he's progressing. And he falls back because he gets so excited and anxious from just being there. He's like the dog that caught the car, right?
I know, Caleb. When you were riding 600s, if I remember correctly, it was like 2014 when you came down and raced the Super Sport class. If I remember correctly, when you came down.
Yeah, that would have been like one of the first years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I remember you came down with the R6 with the orange, yellow, and white that you do, and that was your first foray after racing club racing, right? And then you started with essentially the big boys. Were you trying to make? Yeah, I mean, it is the pro class is the big boys, regardless of where you start at. But did you?
Yeah, at the
were
time,
you trying to make a name for yourself?
Yeah. I mean, at the time, so that was my first one of my first professional races, and it was actually me, Joe Roberts, and Nick McFadden all making our debut that weekend. In Super Sport. So I mean, there was a lot of competitive guys in the class at that time. It was called Super Sport, but it was technically the lower 600
stock
class.
600, I think is what it was.
Right.
It was basically stock 600. So yeah, I mean, yeah, obviously, you when you're racing, one of your first times at a big race, it's some nerves, a big deal, and maybe put a little too much pressure on yourself. So I could imagine, and is he one of the only Americans over there too? I mean, that's got
he's the only one.
He's the only one, dude. And
Yeah,
you know what? He's the only
too.
American over there, but he don't even live in America and hasn't most of his life.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's cool though. I mean, honestly, that's the commitment that families have to make at this point, and just because we don't have Moto3 bikes, and I mean they're coming up through I think it's Moto4, Moto5, pre-Moto3, Moto3, all on super rigid GP chassis, and we just don't have anything like that in America. So it's going to be pretty hard.
America, man. We got the R3 and
Ninja 400,
the Ninja 400, right? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, so you get on that grocery getter, R3, and then you got to transition to a super stiff, Moto3 chassis. It's obviously a big difference. So that's kind of the path that some of the families, I know Mikey Sanchez is over there. He's a Texas kid.
Yeah,
I think he's racing either Moto4 or Moto5. Yeah. So I mean, there's some guys over there, and unfortunately, that's kind of what us as Americans. If you want to make it in MotoGP, like families are going to have to get over there and start learning.
Yeah. Or
it's that simple, man. You want to be a GP racer, you just got to move to Spain early, right?
Yeah. I mean, because I went over and raced the CIV with Max Toth in 2022. They have the Aprilia Trofeo Cup that races in conjunction with CIV in Italy. And I didn't know any of the tracks, so I'm showing up to all the tracks. I mean, obviously I knew the bike kind of because it was a similar bike to what I was racing here in America at the time, the R660 Aprilia. But still, it's just such a it almost feels like a different sport a little bit because the tracks are so much faster. They aren't really designed for stop go or just a super upbeat tempo throughout the whole lap. So you're always it just feels like you're flying because you're always carrying momentum, and then that leads into the next sector, which leads into the next sector. So there's just a lot of differences. So if you grow up in America doing Moto America, like a Sean Dillon Kelly, type situation, he's got to go over to Europe, learn all those tracks, learn the bike. It's a tough deal for sure. I mean, there's a lot going on there. Even just for me, having to learn the tracks was it's kind of the same deal. You don't get a whole lot of time, obviously kind of like Moto America, they give you 4 laps of practice or whatever you get, 8 laps or whatever it is, and then right into qualifying, which qualifying is important because that leads into where you're going to start for the grid for the race.
You notice over there that the braking is just way different.
Yeah, so they would kind of teach that in the, so there's it's a really cool series actually because there's so I guess like all the mechanics are kind of, they're all younger and they're like basically a part of the program as well. So like they're developing younger guys to be mechanics that will eventually go into the paddock, and work for teams. So they're kind of developing their mechanics, developing their data guys, and then those guys will eventually move on into a team within the CIV, which is really cool. And so anyways, where I was going with that, to the breaking point, there's data after every session, obviously. So we can go in and you can compare, like, let's say I wanted to compare myself to Max Toth lap. I can pull up my lap and Max Toth's lap. And then they were always super big on, as wide open all the way into the corner, shut off immediately and straight to the brakes and hard, like
throw the anchor
tons
out.
of tons of brake pressure. So,
wow.
You know, and you got to take everything with a grain of salt a little bit, because, you know, if you do that on a spec tire in America, it might not,
it won't work out so well.
So
yeah, that shit might not work on a junior cup bike.
So you know, but yes, that's the idea. We were on Pirellis, and you know, you can grab a handful of brakes, and also you have a ton of edge grip on under braking. I mean, you guys probably see the photos of Top Rack, you know, in a stoppie, you know, leaned over coming into a corner, which is pretty incredible. I mean, it just goes to show like how much front end grip you actually have, and their mentality, you know, of how you go straight to the brakes and, you know, immediately super hard on the brakes with a ton of brake pressure. Obviously, you know, you want to get your braking done while your bike is upright, because you have the most braking power. So they're trying to maximize that section of the track basically before you start to tip in, because obviously you can't have max pressure when you're leaned over.
When you watch the races, is there like something that you look for, or, you know, are you thinking
you pay attention to?
Yeah, like are you like, I could beat these guys? Like,
I mean, it depends on what team. I mean, like Moto 2, I mean, they're pretty incredible riders. I mean, like, or I mean, obviously all those guys, you know, MotoGP, Moto 2, all those guys are really incredible. I mean, for like your average track day rider, what I would say, like, to be watching MotoGP is like, one, look at how much track they're using, how they open up, you know, all the entries, you know, they're right on the apex of the curbing, like tire right on the paint, sometimes over the paint. I wouldn't suggest doing that in America.
Yeah, a lot of the tracks, we don't have grippy paint. Typically.
Especially at Le Mans when they're going through the double right-hander at the end and they're all the way on the paint. Just you can't do that.
Yeah, if you watch those guys, I mean, they're carrying some pretty aggressive lean angle over the paint, you know, even and sometimes over the curbing as well. So, you know, and I guess, you know, just opening up everything, you know, if you watch, they're using all the track, you know, and that's the race line. You know, everybody talks about, you know, what's the race line at my local track or whatever. Well, you'll see those guys using up all the track. Like, I can guarantee you, because I actually do a lot of coaching as well, with Ride Smart here in Texas. So we'll get behind people on our they've got Aprilia RSV4s, and we'll video. Somebody will be like, yeah, I'm using all the track, you know, and then you get behind them and speed to the right, and then they're 3 feet off the apex. There's another 6 feet on the exit, and that those guys are riding on. It's really cool. If you look at like when you're watching a GP race, if you see a track, I don't know if Indonesia or one around the track, you could just see the dirt. Like, it was very dirty. If you look at obviously the darker part, is where the main majority of people are riding. If you look at how small that margin like is pretty incredible. I mean, you have to be you know, to do everything that perfectly every single lap and not run off into the, you know, obviously if you run off into that dirt, you know, you could tuck the front, you could lose the rear or whatever. So just to be that picture perfect, I mean, is pretty incredible. And that's, you know, what makes the difference, you know, in the GP races. If you watched the MotoGP over the weekend, this is kind of a perfect lead into the MotoGP race, but like the Marc Marquez battle, with, you know, even with Pecco, like towards the end there, I mean, it's so incredibly hard to make a pass because these guys are on the limit, you know, in every sector, and they've got everything covered. So like, how do you make a pass when the dude in front of you has like literally everything picture perfect?
Yeah, and is one of the fastest dudes in the planet.
Like a whole bunch of picture perfect dudes, right? It's like everybody's picture perfect, kind of, you know. And it's what you're saying too, like something small, like a small little mistake, like that, you know, Martin ran wide. And he, after he made the pass, he ran wide, and then it fucked him down the straight, and Pecco got back by, right? So
I think at that point, towards later in the race, they're working towards, okay, who's got the better grip and who kept the tire underneath them, and then that's when you can kind of make your move. And I think that's what Jorge was trying to do, at least till mid race.
Yeah, I mean, he said if you listen to what he said in his little comments or whatever, he was saying that like he was just hanging out, and he said he could see that Pecco was on the limit. So he's like, "You go ahead and be on the limit, dude. I'm just gonna be here, chill, watch shit happen, and then, you know." And
not
he
have
did.
to push as hard.
Yeah, that's super smart racing. I mean, if you can sit behind the guy a little bit, save your tire, and have more at the end, you know, that's always a super smart strategy. I mean, you want to have something left at the end. You don't want to be. I believe it was Alicia Spargaro. You know, I don't know exactly what happened, but it looked like maybe he went out real fast and then kind of you know, didn't have a whole lot of grip. He went out pretty early, so there might have been a bigger problem than
he had that bump with
grip,
Bastia, right? He had that bump with Bastianini, and then right after that, Bastianini got a long lap penalty.
Yeah, but it wasn't because of the bump.
Because he shortcutted after.
Yeah, he shortcutted. Right? Yeah, he shortcutted the chicane after the chicane.
Caleb, what do you think of the long lap penalty stuff?
It's interesting. So like, we don't really have that in America. When I was racing Moto America, and like when I went over to Italy, they did have that even for us.
Really?
Luckily, I never got a penalty, so I didn't have to go through the long lap. But but they did the same. So like you again being picture perfect and inch perfect, like you know, they obviously have the green paint over there, and you know, it's heartbreaking. Like if you see some of those MotoGP races where the dude literally like touches the green by like
like half the tire.
You mean like Gagne at Laguna last year?
Yeah, I mean, so it's like it's pretty crazy. I mean, because you know, you make a small mistake and then you got to do that long lap, and obviously your race is. I mean, you're gonna. Well, depending on, you know, how deep the field is, I mean, you might get passed by 3-4 guys, and
I mean, think about where Bastianini would have finished had he not gotten that penalty.
Yeah, they were saying he would have been
rolling.
He would have been right up there because he's a late race dude.
Yeah,
he always has tire underneath him towards the end of the race.
Yeah,
somehow, some way.
Right. Or
speaking of
the chicane at pit race or whatever. Yeah.
My buddy Daniel Goodnight, who I'm repping, said that speaking of lines, Caleb's line through the chicane at Road Atlanta is perfect using the curbs. He was in the Stock 1000 race last year when you came out on the Orange Cat BMW.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a fun year. I mean, the BMW was an incredible bike to ride. I mean, that thing has got a ton of power, and I obviously came off a Twins Cup bike, so
bit of a jump.
The first couple tests we did some at Chuckwalla and Las Vegas, and I honestly, like, I rode the bike a couple times, and I was like, man, I don't know what I got myself into here. Like, this is, I mean, you add a ton of power. You know, most people are like, you know, oh, I need more power. That's why, you know, that guy on his, you know, Ninja R3 is beating me because, you know, I need power, you know, to him. No, you don't need more power. More power creates a lot more problems that people don't think about, you know, because now you've got the rear spinning up underneath you. You've got tire life that can literally go away in like 3 laps if you're not, you know, if you just hammer it. I mean, you can destroy some tires real quick. So, it just there's a lot more to it. There's a lot more involved with the electronics in order to make the bike rideable for a certain rider, because obviously a lot of these bikes have, you know, a ton of power, and being able to put it to the ground is obviously, you know, key. Being able to use the power that you have. So Road Atlanta was my first race on the Beamer, and
you did pretty darn well, man.
I got I think it was 4th to Jeff May at the line, like for the podium in the first race, and I was like, I get a podium in the one. I was chasing down my teammate Ezra Bovier. He was leading, and this is when I learned about all that BMW power. But I caught a lap and we were coming down the hill at Road Atlanta, coming up over the hill, and the BMW wheelied, and I wheelied right past my brake marker, and I was coming at my teammate full like in an endo, like right at the side of him, and I'm like, oh no, and just barely missed him, and we're shooting off the track. So yeah, learned my lesson on that. Cost me little championship points too, which at the end there would have been nice. But yeah, I still ended up 5th. Turned around and got back on, but learned about the power there for sure.
Especially road
in
Atlanta.
Twins Cup, if you miss your brake marker by a foot, it's like, oh, okay, all right, I can still slow this thing down. If you miss it on the BMW, you're in for a ride. So
yeah.
Wow, man,
that's wild.
But
yeah, so we've kind of jumped and talked about GP stuff. What are your thoughts on the sprint race stuff?
I really like it. It brings in, I think you guys, obviously, if you've been watching the MotoGP races, you can kind of see that some of the guys are a little bit better, at sprinting or at a shorter distance race than, having to maintain full distance. So,
right.
Tire, like we were just talking about, tire wear isn't as big as a factor. Maybe, for some riders, being like inch perfect every lap, maybe not having to do it for as long, is a little bit more manageable. But I mean, you can see that there's some guys that are really, really sprint experts, I guess, and some that aren't so great.
Right.
You got to be so aggressive in that race too. You got to be aggressive right off the bat, because you got to force your way through to the front and then just try to hold everybody off, because now everybody's itching to get by and they're just duking it out.
That's got to be a super tough, part of it too, because I mean, obviously it's a sprint, so it's short. So everybody's like just going at it, but you also can't throw it away.
Nope.
Right.
So
it's like everybody's going at it, pushing.
Well, you can throw it away, and some people do.
I mean,
last GP weekend, half the field threw it away.
Yeah, dude. Like,
as a rider, for points, you obviously don't want to throw it away.
Right.
So I feel like that's got to be interesting, that balance, finding that balance. How much do I risk? The risk to reward ratio throughout that race has got to be interesting for those guys. And then if a guy bumps you and rips your wing off, that could affect things now.
You're done.
You mean like when Marquez bumps you and rips your wing? Right?
Yeah, leaves you wingless for half the race.
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
crazy.
I have it up right now, but like in the sprint race alone, we lost Bagnaia, Mir, Rins, and Bezzecchi.
Yeah. That's a lot of dudes out.
I mean, that's a lot of that's there was 18 finishers, but 4 of the guys ended up on their faces
on the ground. Yeah.
So, and in the race, even more people crashed in the race. So
yeah, and I was really sad.
Baby Jeebus,
Pedro, man.
Yeah,
that was a big lesson learned, because you could tell he was getting really impatient, and I don't know how he threaded the needles, like a Voldemort move at Road Atlanta when he came
Voldemort
in.
move?
Yeah. He who shall not be named.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I call that a toilet move.
Yeah.
Because you take a number 2 in it. No?
I don't know where you get that one from.
No?
No.
All right.
That must be a Palmdale thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he just threaded the needle. I was blown away, but it's like, hey, dude, you got a full tank of gas, 24 liters of fuel, and you're trying to stick it in on 2 guys, because it almost looked like he was going to pass both of them, and he realized, and then he just tossed it.
Yeah. I mean, he's learning. I mean, I think the announcer talked it up to like inexperience is kind of what they said or whatever, but
Right.
I mean, and that's the thing, because like one of his first big stakes, you know, I mean, obviously he's had a really, really good rookie year in MotoGP.
Yeah.
To only have crashed out of one race, I think,
One.
at the moment.
One
yeah,
race.
so, but, you know, and that's, you know, that's the
Yeah, it's not like
everybody
he's Jack
especially at the
Spiller. I
beginning.
mean Miller yet, right?
Everybody
Dude.
at the beginning of the race wants to make up positions and be aggressive, and that's just, yeah, it's of it over that. And those guys are riding such a fine line, like we were talking about before. You know, it's incredible what they're doing, really. And you're trying to pass guys who are doing, you know, everything pretty much perfect and ahead of you. So I was pretty bummed that Bezzecchi crashed out too. He had a pretty good race going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He had good
compared
pace.
to,
He had really good pace.
Yeah, and
Hey man,
his,
did
you
you?
know, I think his, you know, well, at least compared to last year, hasn't been, you know, as good as he hoped, and he had a pretty good race going up until he took the front there. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you guys see
yeah.
the they were talking about how Le Mans broke the record with attendance again? There was like,
Yes.
dude, there was like damn near 300,000 people there. It's like
Well, they
297.5, something like that.
So they misjudged the Jerez numbers by
Holy
accident.
smokes, dude.
They
Like,
they overdid it, but it was still a lot of people. And if you
dude,
notice
they
at Le
panned
Mans,
the
like, there
camera,
was
man. It was like a
people
sea
everywhere.
of people. Like, holy shit, dude.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
really cool to see that a lot of people there. Didn't you go to a race when you went to go hang out with Garrett?
No. So I actually,
You didn't get to go?
No, I didn't end up going to a race, but I did. I got to be all right. I went out there just to visit him. It was right before. It was actually in the off season. So we
Okay.
were. I mean, we did a lot of training out there. He was training. He had a trainer out there at the time, and did some motocross. I got to ride, and then we went to. Forget the circuit name, is a flat track that Marquez and
Was
them
that
are at a
Rocco's
lot.
Ranch?
No, we did go there too. But the one they were riding at was like Alcaraz or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a circuit. They have a road race track, and then they also have a cool flat track that's like in the middle of, like, there's like trees, kind of in the flat track. But yeah, it was a cool experience for sure. Garrett's actually been home right now, so I've been running with him.
Oh, cool.
So he's got a little break, and I think he actually goes back next week. He goes back, and they're testing at Cremona, which is a new track in Italy, and then the next race is Misano. So he's getting ready for that. We put in 25 miles running last week, so
Dang.
yeah, we did
Running
5 a day.
sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. So
I can hate running, man.
Yeah,
Bicycling,
I've been trying to.
I'm in. Running, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem with cycling around here, we're in Houston. You got all the dudes in the big jacked up trucks that want to run you over and hate cyclists, and it's like it's pretty gnarly, actually. Like, just like, I've been, when I was running down the road, I've had dudes literally swerve at me where I had to jump in the ditch and not
Really?
get hit by a
What?
truck.
Come
Yeah,
on.
That's when
like-
you start running armed, right? You are in Texas,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah, you
you're
gotta
running-
start
you gotta
popping
have
some
your,
cats.
Yeah, you're 45 on your hip while you're jogging, dude. Bang, 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 right?
They'll
Like,
leave you alone.
That's how y'all do out there, right?
I'm not from Texas, so I don't really have the, the hat, boots, and gun type of
Yet.
Yet. Yeah.
Yet, I
If you ran with a
guess.
trucker hat,
Apparently-
maybe some
Yeah,
jeans or
dude.
something, some boots, they might give you a little
Yeah. They probably think you're from California, bro. Like,
yeah,
that's
and
the
then they're
problem,
trying to run you off the road.
right?
just running cowboy boots, so they think I'm part
Yeah,
of the
dude.
Texas gang.
Yeah.
Yeah, but have somebody video it and send it to us.
Yes. There you go.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
so so we've been putting in some work, and he's trying to get ready for his next race, so that was cool. And I'm trying to stay fit in case something comes up for Moto America, in case I can get some sort of fill-in ride or something.
I mean, look,
hanging out.
You saw Chavi got a fill-in ride, right? Holy shit.
You
Yeah.
may have to fight
Yeah.
Cody. Cody brings his bag and
Oh
helmet
yeah,
and stuff.
Cody Wyman brings his bag everywhere, dude. That guy's like, no shit. I saw him at Road Atlanta. He's like, yep, bags in the car. Like, what? Just like he shows up to the races hoping it's gonna work out. You know?
Ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready to go at all times.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you never know what can happen, you know? And I might try and do like a one-off ride or something. You know, obviously if the full season didn't work out this year, just financially and stuff. So like I'm obviously still like competitive. Like I got second in the championship last year in stock 1000.
Yeah, I know.
I don't really want to just go out like that, really.
Yeah,
you know, I still
for sure.
Yeah.
I still have the drive, and then, you know, obviously when I'm working out with Garrett all the time, it's like, you know, we're always talking about racing, and like, you know, kind of gets you kind of get
So
the
you're
itch
still
to,
fit, you're ready to race, basically, right?
yeah.
Are we gonna
I'm
see you at
staying fit.
Brainerd? Are you gonna do a Brainerd race?
I'm hoping that would be cool. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. I don't really know how I'm going to do it yet. I have a lot of family, like 50 people that come to Brainerd every year to cheer me on.
Oh, we see him on the TV all the time, man. Anytime you go to Brainerd, we see him on the TV.
I get them the custom KD shirts and get them all decked out, and it's cool because for a long time I grew up in Minnesota, and there's not a
we
whole
couldn't
lot
tell.
Yeah, Minnesota. He grew up in
There's
Minnesota.
We basically had Brainerd and Road America, but Road America is like a 7-hour drive, you know, from where I grew up. And so like, basically my family never got to see me race. So like for a really long time, they never got to see me race because even Brainerd's like a 3.5-hour drive from where I grew up. So, ever since Brainerd started happening, I think it's been 3 years now. They've been going to Brainerd. So like my first year was the year that I was leading the Twins Cup championship and went on to win. And I got the win at Brainerd. I actually passed Mazziato on the, I think it was the last corner.
Yeah, it was.
We went into turn 12, and I acted like I was going in deep, or I ran him in deep. But then I just broke harder, and then he ran wide, and then I just got him into the next corner and took the win.
Yeah.
It was pretty
under the bridge. And...
yeah, it was a pretty cool weekend for my every time I go to Brainerd is a cool weekend, but that one especially was cool because I got the win in front of them. We had the yellow smoke like Rossi, and we actually got yelled at for that. But we had the yellow going. It ended up like blowing across the track. So as we're racing, like yellow smoke is just going through the carousel.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
So like, you know, the guy that I'm racing is like having to go through my yellow smoke. I thought it was kind of funny. But
talk about intimidation.
Jesus.
Hey, marketing. I'm all about the marketing.
Yeah, dude. It works, man. I mean, you know, on some level it works anyway, right?
Yeah.
It's a good time.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, Brainerd's special, you know, else kind of hates it because it's a little bit run down, and you know, the layout is really cool, but obviously the track's been there for a little. The facilities, you know, are a little run down, but for me it's incredible. I mean, going there every year and just my family being able to watch me, you know, do what I love is really cool. So that's always a cool weekend for me. So I'm trying to figure out something for Brainerd. That would be, I mean, if I was going to do a weekend, that would be the that I would pick, just because of that, really. I mean, obviously I like the track too. Turn 12 is super fun, backing it into turn 12, you know, super tight bus stop, and it's a fun layout. I really hope they repave that thing someday because it's really fun when they repaved it in like 2013, and it was really, really good. So
John Righty,
we'll see.
John Righty's a commenter here, and he's apparently from that area. But you know, I've mentioned this many times to people. What would you think if Moto America were to race Brainerd like the OG Brainerd, the Donnybrook course?
So yeah, I grew up. I actually raced that on an R6 when I was it was either 12 or 13. I jumped on an R6, and that was my first time on a 600 on Brainerd long course.
Perfect.
So yeah, I used to do 5-hour enduro races growing up on Brainerd long course because people would need a rider, and I'd jump in and help them do better and stuff. So that was cool, and it gave me a ton of time too. Always 5-hour endurance and a 3-hour. But going back to your question, I think it would be incredible. Other than, the main issue with it is the drag strip. When that gets wet, it's game over. I've seen a guy literally do a full 360 and then hit the wall.
Wow.
Like upright 360 and then slide out and hit the wall. Because so basically you come out of turn 10, and which is the final corner, and you run it out, and then you got to come back to the middle of the track, and there's like a concrete patch. Oh, where's my camera? Like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's probably less than a foot down the center, and it's painted too. So obviously even paint in the rain is slippery, but the concrete strip is the only thing that has grip. So you come out of turn 10 in the rain, aim for that concrete strip, and just try and stay as perfectly straight on this concrete thing as you can.
Have they raced Moto America in the rain at Brainerd?
Not.
I don't think so.
No, not in the last 3 years that I've been there, which has been the last 3 years they've raced.
Maybe the timing of it's perfect to not worry about the rain.
You never know in Minnesota.
But it is Minnesota. It's Midwest. It gets weird. It's humid as fuck sometimes, right? So
yeah, I think that is the main thing. Is that you can't race in the rain because it is really dangerous. Like if you slip off that, and honestly, you can't even fit 2 guys wide. Like,
yeah.
So like,
I'm just thinking insane, like turn 1 from the original course on the current super bikes. That's what I'm thinking. Like, that's where my brain goes. Like, holy shit, man, are we gonna see 200 miles an hour? Like, probably.
Turn 1 is wide open.
Not by the Suzuki's, but like, right?
Turn 1 is pretty incredible. It is absolutely wide open on a 600. To try and hold it pegged all the way through turn 1, and you got to kind of sweep out and go wide, like this kind of crack part of the back to open up the track right as you're tipping into turn 1. I can't even imagine on a 1000.
There's some onboard. There's some onboard somewhere on YouTube that's got Aaron Yates racing AMA 600 Supersport there, and it's like he's got Bostrom right next to him. He's got all the guys basically, right? And I want to say it's like 02 maybe, and it's pretty fucking gnarly.
Oh yeah,
and
you can hear them, and they go into turn 1, and you can hear him not lift. He's like, ah.
Yeah, and then like racing in the rain through that. I was in a 5-hour endurance race one time, and there was a guy right in front of me. So we go into turn 1. He was on like a 1000, so he was a little bit faster on the straight, and tucks the front right in front of me. And when you crash in turn 1 at Brainerd, so it's banked, and then basically on the other side, it's just kind of like drops off. So basically, when you're behind somebody and you see somebody crash, they just kind of slide and then disappear. So you're like, and obviously it's like a really fast corner. It's like it's one of the fastest corners, I think, in the US, maybe.
Daniel Goodnight wants to know how it compares to the kink at Road Atlanta. I bet it's faster.
It's faster. I've done the kink at Road Atlanta on a 1000, and that is some scary stuff there. Honestly, because when you go through there on a Twins Cup bike, you're like, and it's like all right, whatever, and then when you get on a 1000, you're like sliding the rear through there, and like you're looking left, and there's like, if there's a wall and maybe some hay bales. It's like,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
So it's definitely different because I wouldn't call that a corner, really. I mean, it's a kink, but it's not really a full corner. I mean, you're wide open throughout an entire banked corner.
Yeah.
You know, maybe Daytona or something like compares to it a little bit, but
Yeah.
you know,
Wow.
but like if you were like wide open into the banking, maybe
Wow.
would be more comparable. Because it's slightly banked. You know, and I can't even imagine going in there on a 1000. Like I only rode a 600. I never raced a 1000, but I'm sure turn one on a 1000 is pretty incredible.
Yeah.
So I mean, it'd be cool. Like if they repave the drag strip, which I mean, NHRA is like one of their biggest events, which so I think that stuff is always going to be on there. If they had a way to like make that not so slippery in the rain, you know, it would be a really cool event. I mean, and just like the historic, you know, aspect of it, like I always, you know, growing up in Minnesota, I always heard rumors from everybody about how cool Brainerd was, and it was a, you know, massive party, and you know, all this other stuff. Like I guess it was a really big event back in the day. So from
like
that
didn't World
perspective,
Superbike go there? Like, I mean, it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
a big deal.
Like the first
Brainerd
season.
was legit a big deal.
I think that was the
Right.
opening round of the first season.
Could be. Yeah.
yeah.
But,
So
you know, I mean, Greg White would probably know that. Right.
So from that aspect, I think it would be really cool, you know, if they could figure out a way to run the long course. Because I personally, I like the short course better, just because I think it's more of like a rider's track. And what I mean by that is like the rider can make up more of the difference. You know, obviously, if you have a long straightaway, like the long course, you know, top speed of your bike comes more into play. So like if you know, like in Superbike, for example, if one of the bikes was faster than the other one, you know, they would pull, and then you know, you'd have people trying to make it up in turn one, which would be interesting. But you know, I think the short course from a rider's perspective, or at least I guess I just like tracks like that a little bit better. Like you know, more corners, barber type tracks.
Yeah.
You know, just because it's a little bit more fun than just going down the straightaway. But then again,
That sounds like
one,
everybody
I mean,
that sounds like everybody when I started racing that didn't race at Willow. They're like, oh yeah, we like rider tracks. And I was like, dude, what are you, some kind of fucking pussy? Like, let's go 6 gear, like race at Willow, man. It's like a whole different breed, dude. So anyway.
Oh man.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you do it a couple times, turn one, and it's like, okay, you know, I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of like the banking at Daytona. You know, you do it a couple times, and you're like, all right.
You mentioned earlier kind of starting out with, you know, with your pro career with Joe Roberts, and that dude entered the weekend leading the world championship, man. Like,
how
what do you think of that?
That's incredible. I mean, I forgot the graphic, but they put up something. I don't remember how long ago it was since Nicky had been leading the champion.
06.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really cool. You know, obviously Moto2 is very competitive. So, I mean, there's a lot of season left. So, I mean, and you know, he needs to find that like little bit more speed to like get with that. He's kind of always been like, and like the leader kind of has like a little bit on him. If he could,
right.
I mean, obviously it's really cool what he's doing. Like it is really, really cool that an American is, you know, was leading the championship coming into last weekend. And, you know, he still was
7
fourth,
points
I
off.
believe.
No, he's 7 points off. Yeah.
No, in the race.
Oh, in the race. Yeah. He was fourth. It was a real hard fought fourth too. Cause him and I,
he actually, dude, he fucking,
he fought
like,
back.
I don't know what,
he was awesome.
I don't know what the deal is with that guy, but like he comes on late, dude. And he's coming. It looked like he had a shot at third. He did. It looked like he took a shot at third.
He did. It was Alonso Lopez. He bumped him out of the way.
Oh, he did.
He got bumped.
100%.
Yeah.
He 100%.
Right. Full contact racing, man.
Alonso.
Like that's the theme of this season, man. Full contact racing. I mean, it's happening a little bit even in Motor America, but I mean, dude, like full contact racing is just so exciting. And that track, Le Mans, with that last couple of corners and then really short run to the start finish, man.
Yeah. He bumped them and then drive. Yeah,
he did say he made a bad tire choice. whatever that means.
Yeah,
Just,
he went with
I
the SC2 front, and
don't,
everybody else had gone with the SC1. So he went for a little bit harder front tire, thinking that
right.
he would do a
Thinking it
little
would
better.
come in late, and
Yeah,
it kind of
coming late.
did, but
And it looks
yeah.
like they ride the front a lot around there, just a lot of big carving corners, and they probably felt that the SC2 would hold up a little better.
Yeah.
Especially, I didn't think it was too hot, but I just think the wear just constantly on the side of the tire, just
Yeah.
it just looks like
Well,
a really cool track.
those are little bikes and they weigh nothing. I mean, you could get away with running a SC1,
Yeah, but
right?
they're plowing the crap out of that front
Yeah,
thing, man.
well,
Those
you
dudes
know,
are railing
that's
the
what those
corners.
fucking Pirellis are made for, dude. Like, right?
Yeah.
I mean, no, you're laughing, Caleb. Are we full of shit? Like,
I mean, they are being very, very hard on those front tires, but
yeah, they are.
yeah, I mean, it sounds like obviously, you know, from what you said about the compound, that a lot of other people chose the SC1, and it seemed to work out for that. Maybe,
Yeah.
you know, maybe that was providing a little bit more head grip and didn't wear out. But I mean, honestly, the last lap thing, I mean, he bumped Alonso, and it like basically Alonso just turned it underneath him and then shot to the line. He was able to get on the gas quicker, and
Yeah.
I don't think that had too much of an effect. Obviously, that situation, and it looked like, honestly, overall, just like with all the classes, it looked like a really, really hard track to make passes. Like that's, I think, what kind of made some of the bumping, because it was really tough to pass. So people were having to kind of like force passes. Is what it kind of seemed like just watching all the classes. So,
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like they're going back to Spain next, right? So, was it Catalonia?
Yeah, Barcelona.
Yeah. So that one, I mean, dude, the guy's due for a win, right? Like Joe Roberts is due for a win. Like he's so close.
3 seconds and a fourth.
Dude,
Man.
like let's ask KD51. Is Joe Roberts gonna get a W this year?
I hope so. I mean,
What's your prediction?
Looks,
Are you
you know,
predicting that he? What's your prediction? Never mind hope. Is he gonna do it or not?
I think he will. I mean, it looks like
Okay.
he's been strong, you know, or a lot stronger than past years for sure. So
Right.
I think he's figured something out, and I think he just needs to put it all together. Hopefully, one of these tracks they'll have a little bit of that speed advantage. I mean, it seems like he's kind of been.
Chunky Bun says
second.
no. Jesus.
Daniela's coming in with the heat.
Jesus. She's flat out no. Man, that's rough, dude. That's rough.
I mean, he does need to find a little bit of speed. Like I feel like, you know, to get that win, you know, you're gonna have to have a little advantage on all the rest of the guys. And it seems like right now he's kind of holding on in that second, but he needs to be leading the charge.
That advantage
maybe
left when.
And let me. She says, "Calm your tits."
I think.
No, okay. So, what do you think it is that has made the difference for him this year between this year and like every other fucking year he's been there? Like the dude was like no Royersville, and then he's like inconsistent, and then all of a sudden, like he's been pretty consistent close to the front this year. Like, what do you think the difference is? Like, I mean, is it the OnlyFans money? Is it Pirelli tires? Like, what the fuck?
I mean, this is just pure speculation, but like, because I don't really know what's going on. But I mean, he did like towards the end of his American racing ride 2 years ago now, I think it was. I mean, he did have some strong races. And then he went to the iTrans or something like that.
Yeah, Trans
team, and it seemed like maybe things weren't clicking as well. So I would say probably part of that would be, you know, maybe team situation. This is like I said, I'm guessing, but maybe team situation. I would imagine, you know, him coming back to American racing, maybe it's just a better situation all around as far as maybe who he's working with. Crew chief could be, you know, a big part of it. It's, you know, things like that make a huge difference for a rider, and trusting in your mechanics and your team is huge, and can do a lot for your confidence. So
Right.
I'm thinking maybe moving back to American racing was what he needed at this time. Obviously he did gain a lot of experience over those 2 years as well, even though
Right.
in the results he wanted. But I think all that experience gained coming back to a team that he's maybe more familiar with or likes maybe a little bit better could be a recipe of what you're seeing.
Yeah, and I know that he dropped the Aprilia deal to go to the Italtrans team, and in hopes of winning, thinking, okay, well, these dudes just won the championship with Enea Bastianini. I'm going to roll right into this championship team, and then couldn't do it. Couldn't do it because he didn't gel with the team at all. And I think they had an Italian on the team as well, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the kid's name. I don't know if it was Digia or the one of the other guys, but it just didn't seem like it was working out. And I know that in the commentary over the weekend that they were talking about, like, hey, you repaired your relationship with John Hopkins, or like you and John Hopkins have your relationship's grown and all that. So you can tell that John has some influence over Joe and has been helping him out. So because
but he's the loose nut on the seat though, and he's getting it done.
Yep.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
Yep.
John Hopkins can say whatever he's gonna say, but dude, Joe's the one riding the fucking motorcycle,
and he's got to feel confident about
figured it out. Like he's figured out a way to be consistently at the front where he hadn't previously, and it's impressive, man. Like that's why I'm like, dude, he's gonna get one.
Oh yeah. Well, too bad Brno's not on the list because he crushes it at Brno.
Right.
That's where he got that. He almost won that race, I think, or he won that race.
Yeah. Okay, well, how about shifting gears and talking about like the shit that everybody seems to be talking about? It's like who's going to be the teammate to Bagnaia next year?
Oh,
right.
If Jorge's still on track, dude's got it. No doubt.
You think so?
Oh yeah. Best rider right now. Best rider.
Yeah, dude. This season seems to be his to take. Seems like he's got
his to
something.
Lose.
It seems like he's got something on everybody, dude. Yeah. Like, what happened to that guy? Like, he was a front runner already, but holy shit, dude, that guy is like,
he's got found second something last year.
Yeah, that's what happened, huh?
And
but the two-time champ's been not having the best season either. No, man. Like that dude's been on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool. I mean I think obviously he's been killing it. Pretty. I mean I think obviously Mark had a really good race too. He went from P13 to second. So I mean I think he's getting better and figuring Ducati out, and he's got definitely a lot of marketing draw. So I don't know how much things go into these MotoGP contracts and all that, and then you've got
real money is what goes into it.
Yeah, I mean you've got
real salaries.
Mark has Red Bull, and the factory Ducati team is Monster, so like there's a problem there.
Right.
So I mean you would think that the guy leading the championship would be the first up for that seat, but who knows? But it'd be, I mean, they'd be at this point in the season, they'd be pretty crazy not to take Jorge. I mean, he's showing that he deserves it, and he's worked.
Maybe they have 3 bikes.
No, that would be crazy.
I think Bobby's shaking his head. No,
I think they got problems that they bring Marquez in there. He's just going to tear that place apart.
Well, he's going to make them develop the thing around him.
Well, not even that. I just think that his personality is just not jiving with the Italians. And
I don't know. I mean, the dude looks like he's having fun. Like, dude looks like
he's having a great time. I'm not saying he's not having a good time. I'm just saying the moment that ego shows up with the Italians, there's a problem. And now you got the
Bobby has
nationalities
all these opinions about people he doesn't know.
No, you can just see it. I can see it. You can just tell.
Okay.
And I'm sure that all the past with Mark messing with with Pecco last year and Mugello and doing all that BS that he does, all that garbage. Now it's like,
right.
Now he's just up there and now he thinks he's King Dick and he's going to try to prove everybody wrong. Dick. And then he's rolling into the Ducati team and then he's be like, I'm here. Where's all my good stuff? And then him and Pecco are going to clash.
And the rumors of which of those two, I guess, customer Ducati teams, which one of those two, like, is it Pramac or is it Grassini going to go to Yamaha next year?
I don't think either of them probably want.
I was talking to the dudes at the track, you know, kind of like while the sprint race was happening, and you know, that Al Garcia guy that I mentioned earlier, man, like that guy was like, he gave me like a dissertation on why Pramac's going to be the team that goes, and you know, it's really funny. But I'm like, dude, where are you guys getting this shit? And I guess they go and use Google Translate and read all the Italian news and the Spanish news, and I'm like, really? Wow, dude, I suck. I just barely watch the races. Like, I guess I'm not a real fan then. So whatever. Nobody took Daniela's bet this weekend.
Nope.
Shameful.
No $100.
The joke that she's got is that she bets $100 that Marquez isn't going to win, right? Or something like that. Is that how it works?
Yeah.
And nobody took the bet?
Nobody took the bet.
Well, no fucking shit, because the dude's not going to win.
He hasn't been winning.
Yeah, dude, like, that's just giving her money so she can pay for race tires. Dude.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real gamble right now, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the dude's got history and he's got massive talent. It's kind of hard to bet against him, but it's like also not hard to bet against him because of his history the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah, she says she's up $400 so far. Jesus. Suckers.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, the only people that take that bet are like the super mega fanboys, right? The ones that are like, he's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I got news for you guys. He's not
the GOAT.
He's not the GOAT. That guy retired. There you have it.
Yep.
So
where's my mini champ?
Where's your what?
My mini champ, my Rossi mini champ that was on my wedding cake.
Jeez. Wow. So when are you gonna ride again? You said you coach for Ride Smart. When are you gonna ride again, Caleb?
A couple days. We're heading up to Hallett in Oklahoma. That's the next event.
Is that Ride Smart as well?
Smart. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to talk to them guys for me, man. Like, me and the boys were coming out to that Coda thing. So, like, have those dudes give me a call, man.
All right, I'll have.
I haven't heard shit from those guys. I was like, bro, what the fuck?
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, no email, no call, nothing.
All right. Yeah, I'll have to talk to him again about it.
Yeah.
You're going to Coda?
We do go to Coda 3 times a year now. They canceled the first one because they had to repave the track for the GP. But yeah, it's really cool. We get to go to Coda. Do depends on how it works out, but sometimes I do one-on-one coaching. It's usually 2-day event, and a really cool program set up. I follow you, film you, pull the video up on my laptop right then and there after the session, and
look how bad
we dig
Coyner suck.com.
we video don't lie, unfortunately. So
yeah,
for most people,
right.
But it's really, I mean, it's super helpful. Obviously, people can see, you know, their body position then and there, and their apexes, the lines. I mean, we work on, you know, millions of different things. But they've actually just launched another new program that isn't officially out yet, but Faster by Fax. So you can fly in, ride in a Pirelli RS660. Got data loggers on them, so we can actually video you, film you, and use the data from both bikes to kind of compare our data back to back, like a race team would after a session. So
that's pretty awesome.
That's gonna be,
dude.
Yeah.
What does that cost? Or what is that gonna cost?
I am not sure yet.
Okay.
This is still really, really new. So
Yeah.
I really don't know the price, but it's going to be really cool once it starts up, and obviously
Yeah.
it'll be at all the Ride Smart events if you want to do that. So, and honestly, just getting the chance to ride Coda is really cool too.
Oh yeah.
If you guys haven't made it out to Coda yet, it is.
I've been out there, but never ridden, and I guess I'm gonna get to ride it now. I guess
I've been wanting to ride. When are
the
you gonna
track
go
days
ride
rig,
it?
dude. The track days rig is rolling, dude. Like
When?
it's like me and 8 dudes going. It's track days, Big Chili and I, and then 6 dudes on top of that piled into the track days rig, and some dudes towing it. We're flying out, bro. It's gonna be great.
When is that?
July 6, 7 weekend, I think.
Nice. So we're right
Yeah.
after
Yep.
4th of July.
Yeah, so the GoPros will be rolling, right?
Nice.
The GoPros will be
Yeah.
rolling. The shit will be talked.
Nice.
Barbecue will be had, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, Texas, right? Like Austin, Texas, you gotta go to the barbecue.
Is Randy taking your?
Yeah.
No, Randy's not. There's a guy.
Okay.
There's this guy Bob. He's arranged this whole thing, and he's like, "Hey, man, we need to borrow your trailer." And I'm like, "Borrow?"
Can my bike be in the trailer?
Oh, my bike and plus one. So
Yeah.
I haven't decided if I'm going to bring a stalker again or if I'm going to bring my bike. I'll probably bring my bike.
You got to bring your bike.
Yeah.
You can't not ride it on a stock.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's an incredible track. Obviously the facility is great, but the track is, really technical, really challenging. It's got some fast sections, some tighter sections.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you guys want to check out Coda, Ride Smart's got 3 more events coming up, so you can get down to Texas and ride Coda. It would be pretty incredible. I met a guy at the last Coda event. Actually, it was in Aprilia track day. I was out there riding, and first time at Coda, he had a great time and really enjoyed the facility and the track is it's just cool to ride on the same track as
the
MotoGP guys, and you can pretend like you're Marquez or whoever you want.
Not Marquez.
Yeah, no. I don't want to crash my shit, dude. Like,
yeah, maybe you don't want to be Marquez. It depends on the day. I don't know.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing the Track Days Laguna Seca t-shirt, and we're going there 3 times this year. 105 decibels every time. The next one is the Tuesday after ARMA, which is July 23rd. But then we're also there. I want to say it's Labor Day weekend, so it's like August 31st, September 1st, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, dude, I've heard that there's a couple of guys that I've had on as guests coming out. So,
oh, nice.
I think one of the days, I think Dearborn might be coming out, maybe.
What?
Yeah, bro. And then,
Big Red.
And then I think Simcoe is talking about coming out. Something.
Damn, I need to get.
I'm like,
this,
dude. Like, all right,
I gotta make plans for next year.
Let's fucking do this, right? Year. So it should be fun. Laguna is always a great time, and when I go to Laguna, I always do the bicycle thing too. So on the 22nd, if you're coming to ride on the 23rd, you should hook up with me and bicycle in the Monterey area on the 22nd. So. I got these rides set up and it's great. We do the loop around the 17-mile drive. We do Lorales grade. There's something, a little climbing for the lunatics and some scenery, the 17-mile drive, and all of that. So, look on trackdays.com.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah, for sure. Laguna is incredible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Right.
Awesome.
And everybody, make sure you check out KD51.co.
Dude, everybody should just call that dude up and have him do the helmet thing, bro. Oh, are you asking me to put the banner back up?
Yeah, we got to put the banner back up.
Yeah. So you got to go to.
There we go.
You got to check out the KD51, man. That's real. All right. Well, dude, good chat with you, Caleb. Man, I wish
awesome,
you the
buddy.
best of luck, buddy. And again, thanks for coming and talking about racing motorbikes with us.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
For sure. Thank you
for
having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and any final thoughts from you, Caleb? Like words of wisdom,
Words of
sponsors to
wisdom.
thank, or whatever. What do you got going on?
Not really. I don't really have any sponsors right now that I'm not racing. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I've
okay.
always, I mean, I wear Bell helmets. Love their products and
I was gonna
Dionysus
say
leathers.
your wife at home. Your wife, maybe?
Yeah, big thank you to my wife for putting up with me talking this whole time. And but
She's awesome, by the
no.
way, and loves filming all your
Oh, here we go.
adventures.
This is actually good. This is actually good. Ride to Death asks for predictions for Barber.
Yes.
Oh man.
Just Superbike. We'll just do
Superbike.
Superbike.
Yeah, fuck all the other
Just
classes.
Superbike?
Superbike,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go with Gagne probably. I think
solid answer.
I think honestly the Yamahas are gonna get around Barber a little better than the BMW, but we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Yamaha's getting around better, I think. Yeah. Not that I'm biased or anything. Like
no,
not
at all.
No bias in this guy. No, none.
You should take off
But
your
yeah,
hat
I mean-
and put on your attack hat.
I mean,
way
honestly,
over there, man.
Superbike is pretty interesting this year. I mean, it's way more interesting than past years. You got guys like Sean Dillon Kelly jumping in there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, honestly, if you look at the just qualifying from Road Atlanta, Bobby Fong on top, Sean Dillon Kelly second. I don't know where the Ducatis were, but like it was just not what I would have thought.
Ever
I guess.
thought? Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you know, that's why the predictions are so hard for Barber. I mean, I know that the track's a bit tighter. I think the Yamaha is going to handle pretty good there. So that's why I went with Gagne. But yeah, I mean, the Superbike class has been very, very. It's going to be competitive this year, and it's going to be interesting, which is going to be cool for our Superbike series here in America.
And then how about the class that you're no longer in? Has a whole bunch
Stock
of Hondas
1000.
in it
now. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's probably hard to bet Hayden Gillum on the new Honda. He's he's always quick. He's good at Barber. I think that will handle pretty good around there. But you got
I
a
guess
lot
they're
of
getting advanced in Heinz pipe for that thing, so it won't sound like a sewing machine next time, right? Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of new guys are coming in. I know Jason Rive's coming in, and Andrew Lee's back. He's on a BMW. He should be pretty competitive. There's
Bryce
Ben Smith.
There's a lot of it's that class has gotten shaken up pretty. So
yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be crazy. Should be fun to watch.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Everybody needs to watch that shit. And dude, I'm rooting for you to get some kind of ride going. Yeah. But man, I guess offline I'll talk to you about making TrackDaz pit shirts. Like
yeah,
I mean,
sure.
like I said, dude, McGuire is like, dude, Caleb hooked it up, and I was like, fuck, okay, that's my Chris McGuire really impression, nice. By the way.
We do have some really, really nice Lululemon Feel pit shirts. That's what we call them. And
Lululemon Feel pit shirts. I don't know about all that. Nice. I don't know what that feels like because that's not my. I'm not the target demographic.
Premium,
for that, dude.
Premium materials.
Okay. Is it gonna be like '90s silk shirt vibes? Okay.
No, Lululemon. No, that's like the bougie suburban mom workout gear.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I'm wearing it right now, but
well, of course you are.
But just super nice, lightweight, breathable, stretchy. It's got we've actually got ventilation down the sides of our pit shirts, some breathable for hot days. Here in Texas, it gets 100 degrees. I don't know if you guys are Coda, but super hot last year for the Moto America races, and definitely having a nice full breathing pit shirt is especially for crew guys, and you're out in the sun a lot working, and
right,
it's definitely to have. So yeah,
well, right on, man. Bobby,
I think
you didn't have enough. You didn't have enough gasoline in the jar, the ball jar tonight.
It's empty.
Oh, that's sad.
I think you gotta hit us with an outro.
I know. No, I think Beaubier is going to get one win.
At Barber?
I think he's going to pull one off.
Okay. We have to hold him accountable for that one, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I'll grow the mustache out if he wins. I know John Reedy's going to be rooting for him to win.
You're going to grow the... So I guess you're going to be fully shaven then?
No, I'm going to I got the beard going and just...
No. I'm saying you're not going to have to grow the stash. But anyway.
Hey, thank you again, Caleb. Really appreciate it, buddy. That's the outro, I guess. I don't know.
Really? That's all you got, dude?
I don't know what to do.
Dude,
you hit me up with the outro. Like, what am I supposed to do?
First off, I guess we're done talking. Thank you guys for joining. Thanks to all the commenters for commenting and watching this crap with us.
5
and
push-ups.
I hope you guys think it's a good time. And feel free to email Ricky Bobby or message him and any feedback.
rbgmotorsports.com for all your Boxo needs.
Yeah, that. And TrackDaz.com, TrackDaz signups and all that. But thank you guys for watching this stuff, and we got to go.